What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Vince, and today we are back with another reaction. Today we're reacting to visiting the most drug addicted city in America. Hey Vince, what are you looking for? I'm trying to find what's wrong with him. Like, what's going on? He's not tired of almost stepping on aid needles and crack pipes and just drugs on the ground. He's not tired of that. He's not tired. So we finna see what's going on with Tommy G and why he keep visiting these dangerous cities. So let's get into it. Let's go.
Hit of meth feel like
super meth.
Now we are seeing students as young as first grade who have had drug issues.
What percent of guys that are slaying you think waste their shit?
I just assume everybody.
And that's another thing I never understood. Why are they lacing drugs?
Online it says that Omaha is the most drug addicted city in America. Does that surprise you?
No.
The United States of America is facing a massive drug crisis. In 2021, over 106,000 people died from drug overdoses.
Dang.
This is up 14% from 2020. The main culprit in this story is fentanyl.
Next to the fentanyl crisis wreaking havoc in communities across the country. Overdoses, drug seizures, and...
Is fentanyl supposed to be like super addicting? Like, why are people lacing their drugs with fentanyl? They're killing their consumers. Like, I don't even seem smart on the drug dealer's part. But fentanyl, y'all should know about fentanyl. Like, it's been
concerns continue to grow
all in the headlines.
The victim can be seen buying the fentanyl and then walking over to the front door of the gas station before collapsing.
A snapshot of America's fentanyl crisis. An average of one person every 10 hours dies in this city of a fentanyl overdose.
A lot more people are dying, and it's in a lot of the drug supply, and people are doing it without knowing they're doing it.
Fentanyl was created in 1959 by Dr. Paul Jansen to be a more efficient alternative to morphine, and it's used in hospitals to help with surgeries and pain management. Due to its potency and how cheap it is to produce, drug dealers cut their products with fentanyl to stretch it and make it stronger. The journey of fentanyl to the United States is as follows. Much of it is created in China and India, and it's sold to Mexican criminal organizations like the Sinaloa cartel. It's then smuggled across the border, and it's been flooding the American streets. Today, we visit the most drug-addicted city in America, Omaha, Nebraska, top in the nation for meth, cocaine, marijuana, and heroin. We speak with
They're just dirty. They're just dirty. Like Nebraska, I ain't never heard somebody say, yeah, family, we're taking a trip to Nebraska.
people in recovery, drug dealers, and law enforcement. Let's hit the streets.
Omaha, Nebraska. It just seemed like the country to me. I don't know though.
First, we stop at University of Nebraska, Omaha to speak with Coalition RX, a nonprofit dedicated to reducing drug use.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carrie.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
We're seeing big pharma on the streets, and we're seeing a lot of drugs, mainly fentanyl. And the bad thing about fentanyl is just little grams to kill you.
If you look at a drug dealer like a business operation, what's in it for them to lace things with fentanyl?
Exactly.
It's cheap, and it gives you a good kick of high.
It's one of the most dangerous
But their consumers are dying. It doesn't make sense. All right, I'm done pausing. My bad.
drugs we've ever seen.
How is fentanyl getting into this country? Does anyone know the source, where it comes from, how it gets here?
The drugs are being manufactured in China, and they're being sold to the groups like Sinaloa in Mexico, and then trafficking it across the border.
Federal agents found 300,000 fentanyl pills and 11 pounds of fentanyl powder. Authorities say the SUV has crossed the U.S.-Mexico border multiple times.
Now we are seeing students as young as first grade who have had drug issues. Oh, big pharma, in my mind, they are the people that needed to be held accountable. They've been getting off scot-free, if you ask me.
My son passed away when he was 18 from an accidental oxycodone overdose right here on this campus. Actually. He had just finished his freshman year on a full academic scholarship here, and from what I can tell, he was experimenting with drugs, I believe because of some stress he was under with grades and different things. And he went to sleep one night after getting some oxycodone from another student, and he didn't wake up that morning.
If we meet a drug dealer today that
experimenting
with fentanyl, what would be your message to that drug dealer? What would you like to say to him?
Don't do drugs, y'all. Don't experiment. Don't do none of that. Don't do none of that, bro. Just eat that stress up. Just eat that stress up. It's gonna get better.
Well, I want them to think about their own child, or their niece or nephew, or the kid next door. Would they want that kid's life to end because of what they're doing to make a buck? They're killing people's kids.
Addiction is giving up everything for one thing, but recovery is giving up one thing for everything.
How many people in this room has either had a family member or know of someone that has overdosed in their circle?
Yeah.
Since there's fentanyl in all the things, you can carry naloxone. So what you do is you put it into your nasal cavity. I don't have the test.
I put this up their nose.
You put this part, and then you just push down, and it will spray.
Corporal Crane was equipped with the nasal spray Narcan, a prescription medicine that rapidly reverses the effects of an overdose.
Thanks, you guys.
Take care.
Next, we had to speak to a former drug dealer that can give us insights on how narcotics
are
moving
my
through this
gosh,
area.
here you go.
Head into a trap house in Omaha, talk to a dealer, get inside their head. Tell me about the drug scene in Omaha.
It's pretty active right now. I mean, when you hit us up saying that there's an epidemic level, I honestly thought to myself, I was like, well shit, the drugs have always really been here. One of the big things right now is meth, a lot of overdoses.
Does that make you nervous being in the game?
This made me a little nervous, not gonna lie, because nobody really understands what they're doing nowadays, you know what I mean?
What do you view as the impact of fentanyl coming into the game?
It's honestly a travesty because it just kills people.
So what percent of guys that are slaying you think lace their shit?
I just assume everybody, because at the end of the day, when they get it, they themselves sometimes don't know if it's been stepped on or cut or anything, you know what I mean?
Tell me about the journey of how drugs get to America, and how Omaha is a central point of that.
The way I understand it is just because we're on I-80, Interstate 80, everything gotta come and go through here at some point in time. That's why, like Nebraska, they call it the gauntlet, because we make so many drug busts on the interstate.
Have you ever felt bad for a customer?
At the end of the day, people are grown, it's their own responsibility to handle their shit, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do the drugs, not let the drugs do you, whatever it is you're doing.
What made you decide to get into the game?
I kinda agree with that to some extent, but I'm not putting all the blame on the people that's taking the drugs. It's like 50-50. It's you selling the drugs is wrong, and you doing the drugs is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like the people in the circle in the room was like, they was putting all the blame on the drug dealers and how the drugs was getting here, saying, oh yeah, if it wasn't access to drugs, then my son would be alive, but your son shouldn't have did drugs. Am I wrong for saying that? You know what I'm saying? I sympathize with her. It's sad, but you know what I'm saying? I think both sides got to take some accountability.
Out of necessity, like out of survival, because I lost my job, a lot of different things were going on, I got in trouble with the law, and I was just trying to figure myself out.
And what kind of things went down in this house that we're at?
This place, man, everything used to go down here. Literally everything. Meth, coke, crack, weed, everything. Like, I got out in 2019. I went away before it ever even got raided.
What was your childhood like?
It was pretty regular.
Yeah. Do your parents know what you've been up to?
Do they know everything? No, but my mom, I love my mom, so she has an idea.
Does it surprise you to hear that Omaha is the most drug-addicted city in the country?
It kind of does.
Big Pharma, what role do you think they play in this whole game?
I think they play a big role in it, because a lot of the stuff that people are exposed to wasn't around before then.
If you came face to face with a mother of someone that has died from drug overdose, what would you say to her?
Sorry for your loss. I mean, the person makes their own choice at the end of the day. Nobody forced them to do that. I feel sorry for them.
Is there like a code on the streets like most dealers won't deal to kids, or do you know of any guys that'll sell to a 5th grader or a 6th grader?
I think if anybody got the money, anybody will serve it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
If you could retire from this profession, what would you get into?
I'd like to do what you're doing.
YouTube? Hey, do y'all ever think this is a real, like, drug dealer? I mean, yeah, he's masked up, but he still seems like he's a snitch. Oh. He's an informant. That's what it seems like. Like, it seemed like if he was a drug dealer, he wouldn't even want to talk to Tommy G. Man, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? You putting me under the bus, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking.
Next, we head to a part of Omaha where drug addicts and homeless people are living in tents on the street to get their story and hear what their life is like.
Omaha is known as the most drug-addicted city in America.
It is. I'm with the outreach program. I'm a psychologist. Fentanyl is the worst thing in the world. They used it when they put you under to do surgery. They quit using it when it disappeared off the docks. They went to Mexico. It comes back to the United States. They stomp on it. What stomping means, they mix it with other things. Young cats like you get it.
What can you tell us about life here?
Difficult, hot, resources are slim.
Do you survive out here all day?
Yeah, I'm here 24/7.
What gets someone to a point that
does she do drugs?
To be outside in a tent in 90-degree heat?
To get away. Sometimes it's better to be out here than it is to be in an abusive situation. And guess what? It could happen to you two guys too.
What's the drug that's running through Omaha right now?
Meth, crack, there's some cocaine and weed. Pretty much anything you want to find is pretty much everywhere.
Right here.
I got out of the situation that I was in and ran out of funds, so I got stuck here until I can get enough funds up to be able to get into a place.
People are bad. They've had a bad situation. But sometimes the system doesn't allow that.
What could the system change, or what could be better about the system?
Other psychologists, psychiatrists, outreach programs, hospitals where they can take their medication, etc., etc. They can live a normal life.
This is kind of the Skid Row of Omaha, I would say.
Hell yeah, this the bottom. I can't get my fucking ID. They fucking with me. They keep talking about they care about the people that's homeless. They don't want you to put your tents up nowhere. Why the fuck we can't put our tents up nowhere and y'all not trying to help us?
I had suspicions about this guy.
Alright. I don't want to make assumptions or anything, but you know what I'm saying? I don't like the homeless people that, like, you know what I'm saying? Some people are actually homeless for real reasons. There's no reason you're homeless and you're still buying drugs. You know what I'm saying? You got $1 for some drugs, but when it comes to a McDonald's sandwich, you're not gonna eat it. If that made sense, you know what I'm saying? Let me explain. You know, if you ever just out, try it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a 50-50. If they really homeless, then you can give them the money after this experiment, okay? Alright. If you walking down the street, downtown or wherever y'all homeless people be, you know what I'm saying? You walk past, they say, hey, can I get us some loose change or $1 or something? You say, yeah, I got you, I'll be right back. Go to the nearest McDonald's and come back with a McDonald's sandwich, freshly cooked, not eaten or nothing. Try to hand it to him. And if he says, nah, man, I said I want some money, that's not a real homeless person. He's homeless because he's on drugs. All right? That's the experiment I want y'all to try, and y'all need to try it.
So I called the Sienna Francis house to see if he worked there. They said he was not a psychiatrist on staff. He was a patient. Today we meet John, a former addict helping other people on the path to recovery.
What?
I had suspicions about this guy, so I called the Sienna Francis house to see if he worked there. They said he was not a psychiatrist on staff. He was a patient. Today we meet John, a former addict helping other people on the path to recovery outside the Sienna Francis house, which is a place leading the charge in helping the homeless, but also one of the highly concentrated areas of drug addicts in the city. It's a sketchy place that plays a central role in this story.
The most drug-addicted city in America is arguably Omaha, Nebraska. Does that surprise you to hear?
That's the first time I've heard that. I know it's bad here, the fentanyl epidemic, the opioid crisis. I know it's known for the methamphetamine use, but yeah, it's getting worse and worse.
So I've got a for-profit counseling agency, Halo Counseling Center. I've been doing that for about the last 8 years, started that in 2015. So we do a lot of work with like the criminal justice system. Most of our referrals come from probations, drug courts, veterans courts, things like that. It's insane. I mean, our business just continues to grow. I started off with just me, myself, and I, and now we're up to 8 counselors, 5 offices, and we still can't keep up.
What got you into this?
So I got my own history. In 2006, I was out on the streets smoking meth. I was involved in a raid September 11, 2006, and was arrested, charged with conspiracy to distribute 500 grams of meth. So I was just with the guy that was doing it, basically. I was his right-hand man. So
that's where it started for me, where my sobriety got started, was that treatment facility right there. Used to be a lot of tents out here. If we end up walking down farther that way, you'll see a lot of tents and everything where the people choose not to go into the shelter. You know, they're either not ready yet or it's just not for them.
How did you become sober?
I got arrested, which is my sober date, August 26th of 2020, and arrested for methamphetamine. I went to jail for 6 months, and I've been battling drug addiction.
Yeah, 6 months in jail will do it to you. You'll quit anything 6 months in jail, especially if it's real jail. I've seen 60 days in. You don't want to play with that.
Probably the last 10 years. And so I was arrested, sat in jail for 6 months. I came over here I was here for 7 months and then went to the halfway house and then just been trying to get my life back together slowly but surely.
It seems like
That's
jail
really
is
good.
a lot of people's sober day.
Yeah, absolutely. Some sort of higher power, man, that gave me the option to do a program that we offer here, and if I graduate that program, I get the felony removed from my records.
Once I got into jail, it was almost a sense of relief because I had attempted sobriety, you know, some feeble attempts, didn't really reach out to get any real help. Then when I was charged federally, then it just became a fear factor. Once you see the United States of America versus John Sapinski, that tends to tighten some things up in the old body there.
What does your first hit of meth feel like?
Superman, euphoria, energy. I was at work, I was mowing lawns, and I had a hangover from the night before, and my boss
Wait,
was
what
like,
does
"Dude,
euphoria mean? What does euphoria mean? Does anybody know? Because it's a show called Euphoria, and it deals with drugs. So I'm guessing that has to do something with drugs. I didn't know that. Let me ask Siri. Hey Siri, what does euphoria mean?
You always asking me stupid shit with your lazy ass.
Oh!
I don't
what's
know.
going on, man? Usually, you know, you're doing a good job at work. Man, I got a hangover. I feel like crap. You know, whatever. He's like, go talk to my brother. So I went and talked to the brother. He pulls out a bag of meth, took a big old snort, and I'm mowing lawns like nobody's business. I'm running around with a weed eater and just tearing people's lawns apart. It was glorious.
So it started out pretty innocent.
Yeah. Within weeks, I'm staying up for days on end. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to work at 6. I need to get more dope. Can't find any more dope. Can't go to work. And the cycle began.
My first experience with it was I was using marijuana at the time, and my friend came over and I took a hit of meth, and it really didn't do anything for me then. I don't know if it was because I was already prescribed amphetamines, legal amphetamines. And then years down the road,
Why does your
after I
friend
got
just
into
have
some trouble in a
meth?
different city, I was on probation, and I was kind of trying to be clean, and a girl said to me that I was seeing at the time, she said, well, this will make sex better. Of course, I'm all for it. You know, if it's going to make sex better, why not?
How'd you find your way here? What's your story?
I got in trouble with the law. I was addicted to meth for like 13 years.
When was your first introduction into meth? How'd you start that?
When I was 16 years old. I
Dang.
used to drink a lot with my friends and stuff, and I got introduced to it one night. It was like something to just stay awake, to party more, and then it became like an everyday thing. I went to jail.
How long did you serve?
But he's smoking cigarettes.
For 3 months.
Did that help you on the road to sobriety?
If I would have got out and just went back on the streets, I'd probably be back on drugs right now.
What should the punishment be for a dealer that's selling people meth?
Definitely jail time.
What was the low point in your meth journey?
Right before I came here, I lost custody of my girls. I lost the love of my life. I'm facing like 17 years in prison right now. If you're struggling with drug addiction, you got to find your higher power. You got to believe in something higher than you. If you need help, it's always nice to reach out to somebody that you love and tell them the problems you're going through.
17 years in prison, what did he do?
Our next stop is talking to drug dealer Shakedown, who is currently facing federal time for her narcotics operation. We wanted to talk to someone that had hands-on experience with fentanyl. Here's what we learned.
How would you describe yourself?
Just try to get a dollar, take care of my people.
So what are you currently up against right now?
Facing about 9 to 10 years, manufacturing methamphetamine, fentanyl, cocaine. I've spent 5 years already in prison. You know, I mean, this is federal time, so it's gonna be different.
Do you think there's any shot at beating the case, or what are you looking at?
No, I don't think so. It's nothing that's gonna stop me from going to prison for some time. I ain't started, really hustling, like selling narcotics and whatnot until 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Before that, I was hitting licks, like robbing people, going to people's cars, going to people's houses, and doing what I could to just stay afloat. I was introduced to selling drugs, and I was like, damn, I ain't gotta beat nobody up no more. I ain't gotta do all this. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta do all this, put my life at risk, put your life at risk. You know what I mean? You put people through that, you put people's kids through that.
Have you ever felt bad for a customer?
Before I ever started selling fentanyl, I lost my girlfriend. My girlfriend before this, I didn't give a f***. I was like, if I'm gonna lose somebody, y'all gonna lose somebody. I kind of like numbed up at
What are the drugs?
What type of mindset is that? You gonna bring me down cause you down? Boy, get him out of here. Get him out of here. I request 8 years from him at least. Bro, what the heck? That's the most type of dangerous person you could ever meet. He hurt, so he wanna hurt me. I didn't do nothing to you.
That are going through Omaha right now? Like, what are the biggest drugs that people are selling?
Fentanyl's super heavy right now. They don't even want heroin no more. Fentanyl is synthetic heroin. That's what they going for. They want that shit immediately.
What was your childhood like?
I was in the system. I was locked up. Like, I've been locked up since I was 14.
What were you booked for?
Distributing and conspiring to confederate methamphetamine, fentanyl, and cocaine over 400 but less than 700 grams.
How much money does all that cost?
That'd be like 50,000.
And then what can you flip that into?
You get 50,000 straight up, and you ain't find people, you gonna flip that to 150,000 easy.
The first hit of fentanyl, what is that like?
If you are constantly a person that deals with trauma and traumatic situations, it's down for a minute, you know what I mean?
Do you think most drug users and even drug sellers are running away from trauma, and drugs are kind of the way to like patch up the pain?
Hell yeah. I feel like it's never the drugs, it's the experiences that you've been through that made you, you know, gravitate to that.
Earlier this morning we met with the mom of a kid who overdosed, and it's just her son's death has impacted the whole family. It has a trickle effect. What would you say to the parents of people that have overdosed?
I've been through it, so it's like I don't, you know what I mean? People make their own choices, and you just gotta stop them from making those choices, not by telling them what to do.
What's the youngest person you would say that has come to buy drugs from you?
13, 14.
What does it cost
ridiculous.
for a serving of fentanyl?
If you buy it in bulk, I can get it for $1.25.
And what do you sell it for?
$30.
I wish you the best.
I appreciate you.
Tell me a little bit about your story.
Wish him the best.
I was living out in Omaha, and the perk 30s were really huge, and that's how I started using, you know.
I've heard that in rap songs.
I heard it in rap songs too. That's why I'm laughing. I'm not laughing because she was on drugs, but she just said it funny. She said the perk 30. Bro, what the heck?
Yep.
Perk 10, I just popped the perk 10. Perk 30, I just popped that perk 30. Snoozing like you on perk 30s. Snoozing like you on perk 30s.
Everyone talks about the perk 30s. They glamorize using the perk 30s, getting fucked up on the perk 30s, but honestly, laced with fentanyl, super addictive. A lot of it is the chemical dependency in your body. It's not so much you wanting to get high anymore, it's your body physically needs it. My drug addiction really took everything from me. The number one thing on my mind all the time was getting high and using.
How long have you been clean for?
I've been clean for 70 days.
What is your plan to make sure you don't fall back?
Those withdrawals, man, when I went through withdrawals and treatment, it felt like I was on my deathbed, you know. Couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I was throwing up, and that's a big reason why I feel like I can't go back, is just because I know the hold that it'll have on my life. I was spending $500 a week.
Dang!
Drug habit.
What was rock bottom for you?
You had $500 a week and you were doing drugs? I know money isn't the root to all your happiness, but dang.
Staying in someone else's house, no money, selling my own things on Facebook, so that way I had money to get high, and even then I was maybe using one time a day and I was still really sick. Addiction doesn't discriminate, you know. People think that it's only low-class people who get addicted to drugs, but honestly, anyone can get addicted to drugs. I was very fortunate growing up. When I was finally on my own, I met a man who kind of veered my life in a different direction, and I chose to take that path.
I can't imagine what it's like doing your job in this area. What is it like?
Get used to it. I mean, that's what you signed up for, right?
What would you do to help a city like this?
I really don't have an answer for you.
I guess you can either invest money into the incarceration side, or you can invest money into the rehabilitation side.
No, you gotta go for rehabilitation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to help people as best you can. You don't want to incarcerate them for life.
What percent of the calls you would say you have to answer to are drug related?
Probably more than half.
We appreciate what you're doing, and thank you.
Yeah, you all take care, right?
Y'all. I don't know. I'm not a feel like I think I'm somewhere in the middle. Like it's like a left side and a right side. On the left side, you got like the people that's doing the drugs and their family talking about, oh, it's all the drug dealers. I hate them. They shouldn't even be. They need maximum jail time, jail for life. And then you got the other side that's saying, I'm just trying to sell these drugs to survive and make money to take care of my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be all right. I don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying, be out here homeless too. You know what I'm saying? I just got to do what I got to do. I think neither side is taking accountability. So I'm like somewhere in the middle where it's like you see all these people like dying from these drugs. What you just think is not going to happen to me and you still take the drugs? You know what I'm saying? Like your life was handy-dory. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like people be like cracking under the weakest stuff, not knowing more people go through way heavier stuff. You know what I'm saying? Dudes cracking over grades, but it's people not knowing what they gonna eat or when they gonna get their next meal. You know what I'm saying? He got a full ride to college. He don't gotta worry about no financial stuff. He took drugs over some grades, but it's somebody that don't know where they gonna lay their head at night and don't know what they gonna eat. That's just how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like that's kind of like it kind of felt like it was just making me mad a little bit how the mom was like, I sympathize with her and for her son, but it was kind of making me a little irritated how she was like putting all the blame on the drug dealers and her son can do no wrong. That's what was throwing me off guard. But on the same time as the drug dealers, y'all shouldn't be selling to 13, 14-year-olds. That is wild. 13, 14-year-olds is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's understandable, like 18 is even still young, but like 21, I would say. 21, like they grown, you know what I'm saying? They make their own choices. That's understandable, I guess, but at the same time, you really shouldn't be selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Get it another way. But I don't know, man. Y'all let me know which side y'all on. Are y'all on the left side? Y'all on the right side? Or y'all somewhere in the middle with me? Y'all let me know. And y'all know, if y'all enjoyed the video, too much, the comment, like button, notify button, subscribe button, all the buttons, because guess what? Don't do drugs! We're going.